Do you want me to take over from here?
Well, I'll start, shall I?
Yes,
okay.
please.
Right, okay.
I was going off on adventures, basically. He was actually talking to me while I was in California more than the people I went to go visit.
Well, Heather was being disgruntled. I was talking to her, and right at the back of my brain I was thinking, I haven't been on holiday in a long time. I'm going to splurge. Yes, I'm going to splurge. So, that very week, while she was finishing up business out west.
While I'm in California and we're talking literally every day, sometimes several times a day. Because he was worried about me.
Yeah, I was. I'm worried
about you.
You
were worried about me, and it was so sweet.
While that was happening, I booked her a flight out to see me.
So
we got this planned in October 2014, and it was due to begin in 2015. So what happened is, the date starts approaching when she's due to come over. She starts getting nervous and all that, as you know, it's understandable. She flies out, she has a long transatlantic flight, and then they lose all her luggage.
They lost all of it.
All of it, apart from her carry-on.
Yeah.
So then she had to fill out forms and go through all these things at the airport and the baggage claim and through and through the airline website and all this and that and the other.
I mean, they eventually what's the word?
Couriered.
They couriered it out to me when I got to his house in Devon.
Yeah, but it was not a fun journey to get there. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting at the airport for her to come out and wondering, did I go to the wrong terminal? Is everything all right? There's no way to contact her.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And then eventually I see her rolling her little carry-on through. And I thought, ah, there she is. And she looked shattered. She just looked exhausted.
I was so tired.
Absolutely exhausted. But I was so happy to see her. If I had a tail, it would be wagging. Just like a puppy.
That's a weird image. Hold on. Okay, so before he flew me out, I was starting to get like second thoughts about it, and I've told you this. I was mad that he was bringing me out. Like, I was actually having some sincere second thoughts because we'd had all of this back and forth, and we kept, like I said, it's so frustrating doing this, you know, will they, won't they kind of thing. I was really scared, honestly, because, you know, anger and fear are like this. They're like basically the same thing. And so fear
leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. So they say. Star Wars? Yeah, of course it is. Yoda.
Yes, that's true though. So I'm sure that's probably some kind of Eastern philosophy or something.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was getting second thoughts, and I basically didn't want to go because I was so scared that I'd be sucked into this relationship vortex with you again because, you know, we are so compatible, and it's like, it's very instantaneous when we get into a room with each other, and I didn't want that to happen again because
it hurts when it doesn't work out.
It hurts really bad.
It's like a gigantic claw is crushing your heart.
It's awful, sort of, especially when it's because of things that are kind of out of your control. You know. And so it's just very frustrating because that distance is a killer. It's awful. And so, you know, that was where I was at when the date came. And like right up until I saw you at the airport. And I was on a Virgin Atlantic flight. And I swear to you, I had a baby in front of me, a baby on both sides of me, and a baby behind me. I am so glad now that I have noise canceling headphones, but if you don't have some and you fly a lot, you need to get some because of that situation and others. I mean, and I don't even look down on people for bringing babies because, I mean, holidays and stuff. Yeah. But I mean, I just didn't want to be seated in the Bermuda Triangle of infants. I didn't sleep at all on the flight. I had babies in quadraphonic sound. Right up until that moment, the whole time, like I'm on the plane, I was off.
Because they lost her suitcase?
They lost my luggage. It was awful. Like, it just kept getting worse upon worse, and I was just off. And I saw you, and I was like, oh.
And I hugged her and kissed her on the cheek.
I was like, everything's okay. They lost my luggage. Herp-a-derp.
Missing luggage, which was then delivered 3 days later to my house down in Devonshire.
Yeah, he got the norovirus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I ever get the norovirus?
The timing was terrible. The timing was terrible.
Oh yeah.
Because how long did you plan for this?
I'd been planning this for October, November, December, January, for like 4.5 months. Been planning this. 4 months at least. Second day in, the norovirus hit, and it hit with a vengeance. And I was unwell, to put not too fine a point on it. I was extremely unwell, to the point where I lost nearly 45 pounds in 1 week.
It was amazing. I've never seen anybody do that in my life.
I had almost no energy.
He was so gaunt.
I could not keep any food, liquid, water down. I'm amazed I didn't crumble to dust. I was so dehydrated. All hell was unleashed.
Yeah.
Of the 2 weeks we were to spend of February 2015, including Valentine's Day, I was ridiculously, obscenely, worryingly ill, to the point where I didn't eat anything for about 5 days.
You were so dehydrated.
I couldn't drink much of anything for 5 days, because as soon as I drank something, out it came again.
You lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
I mean, your skin was hanging off of you. Your cheeks were all hollowed out. And I still thought you were handsome the whole time, though. I know, but you noticed, because I kept gawking at you, even though you were sick and green and your skin was hanging off of you, and you looked like death warmed over. I was like, oh, he's so pretty. I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you looked really miserable, but you were still handsome.
But yeah.
Is that disgusting or is that a good compliment? I don't know.
That's a good compliment.
Okay. That's just it. I know that you had put a lot of work into this. I know that you really wanted to see me.
Yeah. Well, it had been years. And I organized a lot. I had to go for, I think it was 2 weeks without pay at work to carry this off, and all that, and to get sick like that for half the time we were to spend together, it was just, after all that effort and all that time and all that money, it was just, I thought I'd fumbled it. I thought I'd fumbled it again. And we ended up, for Valentine's Day, I booked us a suite at the Grand Hotel in Torquay. Because for Valentine's Day, I booked us a suite at the Grand Hotel in Torquay.
He was miserable. Like, it was super obvious that you were miserable. But before he goes on, I have to interject and just give you a lot of credit. Because I found it very impressive that, I mean, he was very sick. Like, he was really, 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 really sick. Like, almost immediately you were really sick. And yet, he still went through with these plans. Like, not all of them, but the major ones he still went through with for my sake.
And we had Valentine's dinner. Everywhere else was booked up, so I managed to get a table in a little cafe down the road that turned out quite nicely. And then we walked along the seafront under the stars.
So we went for a walk up along the seafront there, and it was really beautiful, and the water was really lovely. And I knew you felt like crap. And that you were kind of soldiering through this for my sake a bit, and just because of I don't think you wanted to miss out on the experience, maybe.
No.
But I knew that you were better off in bed, and that you probably would have been more comfortable there. Oh, it was beautiful.
Stopped at Berry Head and looked out over a large portion of the bay all lit up at night with the
big full moon.
Big full moon.
Fantastic.
And the tourist lighting still up there, because they got multicolored lighting in streams all down the bay. And the waves crashing and all that sort of thing, and the chill breeze and all that, and it was very good. And went back to the hotel room, and I collapsed on the bed, still weak and ill and all that. I snuck out a little something I'd kept for the past 3.5 to 4 years, namely this ring. I know I flubbed it, but I bought it specifically for her, and I wanted her to have it. I showed her this ring, which I'd been saving for her since we first discussed it in 2010, 2011. And she was overcome with emotion. And I said, it's yours if you want it. And nearly collapsed from the effort of handing over a box of jewelry. And she was giving me much the same look she's giving now. Sort of the almost teary sort of, aww, sort of look.
I can't stop making that face! No, because I mean, it was more than that too. Like, you had done more. You got a candle out, and you set all that up, and we had these desserts, so you set that up a bit, and then you had other jewelry that you bought me that was out. So that's all in the living room. So I come out of the bath, and then there's all that stuff, and that was very nice. And I was really floored that you would just give me something like that without any strings attached.
Yeah. Well, I got it for you. It was specifically to your specifications.
I love you.
And I adore you, my passion. But yeah, I couldn't see it, giving it to anyone else. It was yours, as far as I'm concerned, it was yours. And then from then on, that was it. We were an item again.
It was really moving, because he wasn't asking me to marry him. He wasn't asking for anything really in return. He just wanted to give it to me, and I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's yours." It's just he'd been saving this, and you know, he was sick as a dog, and he just sort of laid this on the like I was freshening up. You know, because we obviously weren't going to be, you know, messing around or anything, because he wasn't feeling well. So I was just like brushing my teeth, and I took a bath, and you know, because they had a lovely old clawfoot bathtub. So I mean, yeah, I was taking a bath, and I had just gotten out of the bath, and I pulled
the box for that out from under the pillow.
Yeah, and he just sort of like put it there, you know, and I made sure that he really wanted me to have it, because, you know, he wasn't asking for anything really in return. And I was just very moved by that, because, I mean, I didn't start crying or anything, but I just kind of like was very stunned and very quiet, which is not characteristic for me at all. Like, you know, like, I just don't say anything at all, because I didn't know what to do. Like, I've never been in that sort of situation before. Like, it was really an extraordinary moment. But I've told him before that even though he was super sick, and before he even gave me this ring, right? Like, when we were walking along the bay back to the hotel, because we took a relatively long walk. I mean, from the restaurant along the seafront to the hotel. And we were just talking and, you know, walking arm in arm and that sort of thing. It was really lovely.
Taking a perambulation along the promenade in true Victorian style.
Yeah. He says stuff like that.
Frequently.
Yes, he does. And so I knew when we were taking that walk, and I kept looking over at you, like, I knew I wanted to marry you. Like, it was just very strong. And it was before I even knew about this ring or saw the ring. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew that I wanted to marry you because, you know, you'd gone through so much trouble for this, and we still got along so well, and you know, all those feelings were still there. And it was like you were really trying to show me that this could work.
Yes, that's what happened. And that takes us up to February 2015. And that was really the beginning of this relationship version 3.0. And this time it got really serious. It got really serious. Really serious. The timing needed to be right. And finally the time was right.
Yeah.
The love was always there. The respect was always there. The knowledge, the adoration. It was always there, but the time needed to be right. And we finally got to the point where the time was right.